Are you ready to take on staff in your cleaning business? Let's go. Today we are going to talk about taking on cleaning staff within your cleaning business. There are two main options available to you when you are ready to grow your team, and that is option number one, we take on our own cleaners, and option number two, we take on subcontracted cleaners. Now, I did a video on this many moons ago which will appear around here, and I'll also link it down below, and it will be available at the end of this video. So how do you currently recruit in your business? Do you have part-time or full-time staff? Do you use subcontractors, or do you employ? Or do you have a mixture of all of the above? What do you find works better? Have you tried one and thought, oh, that's not for me, and gone to another method? Drop me a comment below. I would really love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. Some of the pros to hiring subcontractors is that there will be no holiday pay. There are no employee costs, there are no training costs. You will not be responsible for SMP, SSP, or any of the statutory benefits, as they will not be your employee. The quality of work can sometimes be better with a subcontractor, because the subcontractor knows that if they don't do a good job, you will not hire them again. It can give you less exposure to legal circumstances dealing with subcontractors rather than employees. Now let's take a look at the cons. You cannot control them or direct them as much as you can do with employees that are under contract. Availability can vary. If you have a subcontractor and you match them to a client who is weekly on a Tuesday, and that subcontractor gets in their own job, or they go on holiday, or they don't want to work for you anymore, then you could be stuck with availability and consistency problems with staffing. Subcontractors may often work for your competitors, so this depends on how you feel about this subject, whether you are comfortable with Betty working for you, also working for your main rival down the road. Depending who Betty has the better relationship with, she could potentially be tapped up for information. Using subcontractors, you are not developing the skills in-house and within your business. So in order to grow it and scale it, you don't really have the skill sets to be able to pass on to create potential future managers and supervisors. One really big con I would really like you to think about in regards to taking on subcontractors, and this is mainly UK law. Please check it if you are in another country. You need to be really careful with subcontractors. Reason being is the HMRC definition of a subcontractor, of a self-employed person. They work for multiple people. So if you have Betty the cleaner, and Betty the cleaner only works for you, only serves your clients, only works on your books, if Betty the cleaner ever has a grievance with you, wants to take you to a tribunal, wants to contact ACAS, you are getting into really dodgy ground on whether Betty is actually a subcontractor or whether Betty is your employee. Be super careful. You can end up with massive fines and investigations from the HMRC. The next thing to consider is, do we want our employees full-time or do we want part-time? Let's have a look at the differences between them. Full-time work is classed at 35 hours or more a week. If you are employing full-time members of staff, you will without doubt have to pay national insurance, PAYE, pension contributions and so forth, because the wage bill will be higher per individual. The consistency with a full-time team can sometimes be better, as they are regularly working those clients. However, it can also be dangerous in the fact that if you have an individual that works 8 hours a day and they go off sick suddenly, or they break their leg, how would you cover those cleans so that your clients were not left without a service or a gap in service? So in regards to domestic cleaners, I don't like them to work any more than 4 hours in any one shift. Reason being is I've cleaned houses for many years before I took on teams of people. And I was driven to do it because it was my business and I loved it and I wanted to succeed. With cleaning staff who are employed by you, they are never going to love your business the way that you love your business. They will never sacrifice for your business in the way that you would. And I find that going over 4 hours, the quality starts to do this in the standard of clean, because the cleaner will start to lose the will to live, because it's just very heavy going work. So I would say if you are looking at full-time people, make sure that you are able to schedule in enough gaps for them to stop, to eat, to rest in between cleans, or even split up at different times of the day so that they have some downtime in between, so that your quality doesn't suffer. Part-time is classed as 30 hours or less a week. Employing part-time can keep your costs down, as all staff will individually be underneath the PAYE and NI thresholds. You can have an expanded pool of applicants. People who are looking for part-time work are sometimes doing it around other commitments, such as maybe caring for somebody or looking after children. With part-time staff, you can tend to respond to changes quickly. So if somebody is off sick or you have somebody on holiday, you normally, with several part-time staff, will be able to give them extra hours for that week or two to cover that period without a problem or any gaps in service for your client. There can be confused loyalty if your cleaner works for more than one cleaner business. This depends on how you personally feel about things like this. Me personally, I'm a bit of a control freak. I don't like it. I have written in my contract that if a cleaner that works for me goes for another job, they must come and declare it through the office and have permission through the office to go for another cleaning job, because potentially it can become a conflict of interest. Throughout September, we are going to talk all things staffing. So today we have spoke about full-time, part-time, subcontractor or employee. And next week we're going to talk about how to find cleaners. Where are they? And how do we attract them to us, to our cleaning business and to our cleaning brand? If you want to watch the more in-depth video about subcontracting versus employing, you can catch that here. If you want to catch my other videos about employing cleaners, you can catch them here. I will be back here Wednesday with brand new content. Please subscribe and I'll see you soon. Have a good week. Bye bye.